Halloween season has not stopped just yet. Bushir decided to introduce a Halloween theme Rideline for Lyrical Monasterio. And this Rideline is the true definition of trick or treat. This video is sponsored by Phoenix Farah Cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Farah Cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code MetaNerd to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MetaNerd channel. I am Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Willdress. In this video, we'll be going through the new Rideline that was introduced for the new Lyrical set, releasing I think probably during the Halloween festive season, which I think is the end of October, I would say. Now, unlike the other Rideline that we currently have in the Lyrical Monasterio, this Rideline actually relies more onto the set order, on you playing the normal order, which to be honest is very refreshing, because the only other Rideline that actually plays a lot of order card is Michu. I don't think the other Ridelines within Lyrical Monasterio plays a lot of order card, maybe just one or two, but this as well as Michu are playing slightly more order than a typical Lyrical Monasterio deck. This Rideline also introduced something we'd never really seen before in terms of how this deck is played, and it might just provide the current meta game of Vanguard with a little bit of spice, I would say. Without further ado, let's take a look of what this trick or treat fanatic brings to the table. First off, of course, is the Grade 1 as well as Grade 2 Rideline. I put them both together because they essentially are the same skill. The Grade 1 is Where Is My Only Charm Fennell, as well as With a Genuine Smile Fennell. So both of these cards has the same skill with the addition of course, different requirement, but still, it's largely still the same. Although when this unit is placed by riding from a Grade 0 or a Grade 1 for the Grade 2 unit, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 trick or treat from among them, reveal them and put it into your hand and shuffle the deck. It's basically like a very standard Rideline. It's just on place to search out for your important pieces like at the order card. In this case, it's going to be the trick or treat normal order card. It filters out up to 2 trick or treat order from the top 7, which essentially isn't really the most consistent searcher out there. But of course, when we get to the trick or treat, it does make sense why this is only limiting you to only the top 7 and you're able to get 2 cards. But if you do manage to reveal up to 2 trick or treat on the top 7, you are able to get them to the hand, which would benefit you greatly. However, of course, it is still quite RNG, depends on how many trick or treat you are playing, because as you guys should already know by now, we are able to play up to 16 trick or treat, similar to how the Grade 1 Meteor from Gravidia deck is. So depends on how many trick or treat you are playing. You might whiff the on-right skill, but at least 1 trick or treat to the hand should suffice until you reach your Grade 3 turn, because you can only play 1 order card per turn. So any additional trick or treat isn't gonna help you as much, I would say. Very standard Grade 1 and Grade 2. There's nothing really crazy going on for the Grade 1 and Grade 2. It's just pretty standard, I would say. Next, for the trick or treat, the normal order card that this deck will be playing around. Continuous, you may have up to 16 trick or treat in the deck. Play this if you have a Vanguard with Fennell in its card name. Perform either of the following according to the number of times you play an order card with the same card name as this card this turn. 1 time, your opponent choose one of their rear guards and they may put it on the bottom of their deck. If they did not put a card, you draw a card. 2 times, draw a card and countercharge 1. 3 times, choose up to 1 Grade 3 or less card from your drop zone and call it to rear guard circle. So like I said, it is quite similar to the Grade 1 Meteor order, where you are allowed to play 16 trick or treat inside the deck. However, of course, essentially this card is basically a brick until you reach your Grade 3 turn, where you can just start playing 3 trick or treats per turn. It comes down to the matter of how you will want to balance the ratio between how many trick or treat you want to play versus how many normal units that you want to play. It may take quite a bit of testing as well as tweaking around just to get the right ratio. You definitely will not want to run 16 of this trick or treat, because it's just a waste of space as well as bricks. So not really that great if you're running this at 16 copies. Of course, you will always want to get trick or treat to the hand as much as possible. I mean, at the maximum, you want to get 3 of this trick or treat to the hand, just so that you are able to play from the hand, because the skill does restrict you to only play this from your hand, to only play this order card. So any other skills that actually lets you, activate the order card skill will not allow you to activate this normal order skill. So as for what trick or treat does, does for this deck is that if you play it for the first time, your opponent may choose one of their rear guards and put it onto the bottom of their deck. If, of course, the opponent does not choose not to put anything to the bottom of the deck, you are still able to draw a card, which is quite nice. No matter what your opponent chooses, you're still able to kind of put yourself in a better situation, I would say. It does actually provide you with an anti-rush for the early game, but still, most of the time, if the opponent is rushing, they may just choose to let you draw a card because it's not really going to do as much since they have the ability to choose whether or not to put their rear guards to the bottom of the deck. For the second time, you get to draw one card, which does effectively replace the one Trick or Treat that you will be playing, and you get a countercharge one, which is super nice. For the 3-time skills, you are able to just superior call whatever is in your drop zone to a rear guard circle to help with board building, as well as, you know, just get some of the retired key pieces back onto the board to basically set up your whole combo. It's a very nice Trick and Treat order. It's really good. However, of course, since you will be playing 3 Trick or Treat in a turn, you of course do not need to play all 3 order cards consecutively. You can just play one and then decide later what you want to do first before you play the second one and the third one. Take advantage of this because since this card has a counter charge, whatever counter blast that you spend during the main phase after the first time you activate Trick or Treat is essentially free, which means that whatever skills that needs you to pay 1 counter blast to activate skills to either draw a card or superior call something or to just do stuff is essentially free, which makes the sequence of this deck a little bit more technical for players who like to think a little bit on how to set up the whole board, because this deck does require you to think a little bit on how you want to proceed for your whole turn. Of course, do take advantage of how your hand size is as well as how your drop zone looks like, because it may just helps you build up a full combo turn even on the first grade 3 turn. It's really disgusting, and it is a very refreshing way to play Lyrical Monasterio. For the boss unit, we have TriplexTrick Fennell. Continuous Vanguard Circle. During your turn, you may play 3 order cards and cannot play orders other than Trick or Treat or a Galley's Piece. Second skill, Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attack, if you play 3 or more order this turn, cost counterblast 1. Choose one of your rear guards until the end of turn. That unit and this unit gets critical +1, and all of your front row units gets 2k power for each Trick or Treat in your drop. So this, I think, is the only deck out there that basically allows you to have 3 activations of a normal order card, but then again, it's specific to Trick or Treat as well as Regali's Piece. So it's either you are able to activate 3 Trick or Treats or 2 Trick or Treats and 1 Regali's Piece, which I think is very nice. So you can only use the full effect of Trick and Treat when you reach the grade 3, because before the grade 3, you are still limited to only 1 order activation per turn, which and then just kind of bait the opponent to allow you to draw 1 card or just board control them. Most likely the opponent is gonna let you draw, I would say. So essentially this deck is a 3 attack deck with 2 critical +1 attack, 1 being the Vanguard and 1 for the rear guard. It's not the most broken attack formation that we see currently in Vanguard. The more devastating part of this skill is that for every single Trick and Treat in your drop zone, you're able to give your front row a 2k power. So the more times you play Trick and Treat or you start discarding the Trick and Treat to the drop zone, you are able to provide a 2k power to the front row. One other aspect is that since only 2 columns will be attacking for 2 criticals, it actually opens up for another column which has an on-hit effect to activate, because most of the time the opponent doesn't want to eat a 2 critical attack. If possible, by you calling another attacker that has an on hit that will benefit you in the long run is just really crucial. It is highly likely the on hit effect will activate because the other 2 are just double crits and above. If you are able to check a critical trigger, sure, you can give the critical trigger to the on hit rear guard, which might just forces the opponent to guard every single attack. The best thing is that this card does not really have the restriction of if the opponent is grade 3 or greater. Yeah, very disgusting. You just need to focus on getting 3 Trick and Treat to the hand and you're basically Gucci. Now let's take a look at the other 3 cards that was revealed alongside Fennell, and we might just understand how Fennell actually plays as well as overwhelm the opponent. First off, we have Haunted Spot Iristhena. Although when this unit is placed on rear guard circle during your main phase, if you play an order card 3 or more times this turn, cost Soul Blast 1, choose a normal unit card with a different card name as this unit from your drop and call it to rear guard circle. Second skill, Auto Rear Guard Circle. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, search your deck for up to 1 Trick and Treat, reveal it and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. This card is just really good in terms of board building, as you know, if you are able to play 3 or more Trick and Treat during that turn. When you play Trick and Treat the third time, it actually allows you to Superior Call something from the drop zone. If you call this card from the drop zone, it basically just Soul Blast 1 to call another card from the drop zone. It's just really great. It helps with board building tremendously, even against opponents like Gandiva that tends to retire the whole board. With this card being able to Superior Call from the drop zone by using the normal order card, it's just really good. Not only are you able to 2-box from your drop zone, it also allows for more comfort in terms of discarding to Ride from the right deck, because every single card that you discard to Ride from the right deck is actually still able to come back thanks to this card here. As well, of course, the Trick and Treat third time skill. This card has an on-hit skill, which is quite nice in terms of getting more Trick and Treat set up for the next turn. Yeah, you definitely will want to play this card. It's just really good. And of course, you don't really want to give the crit unless, of course, it's your killing turn. Other than that, yeah, this card is just really great for both power as well as utility. This card is a really great card for Fennell. Next up, we have Prank Explorer Crispina. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, cost Counterblast 1, search your deck or drop for up to 1 Trick and Treat, reveal it and put it into your hand, and if you search the deck, shuffle the deck. Second skill, Continuous Rigor Circle. During your turn, if your drop has 3 or more Trick and Treat in your drop, this unit gets 5k power. So it's basically just more Trick and Treat consistency either from the deck or drop. It's just really nice. And since, of course, once again, it only says when this card is placed, you are able to use either the Trick and Treat order card or Iristhena to basically recall this card from the drop zone and therefore activate this unit's skill to get another Trick and Treat back to hand or basically from the deck. Now keep in mind here is that this cost is effectively free since Trick and Treat is able to countercharge when you played Trick and Treat the second time. So the counterblast isn't really a big issue. You will for sure have sufficient counterblast to use for this deck. So effectively, this card is a 13k with 3 Trick and Treat in the drop zone. Your whole column, considering that this card is behind a 10k grade 2, the whole column is basically hitting for a 34k column. Very disgusting. Because thanks to Fennell, the grade 3 Fennell skills, you are able to get 2k power for each Trick and Treat in a drop. Yeah, this deck is gonna hit like a truck since it is only a 3 attack deck, so very disgusting. Next, we have One Night Witch Streja. Although when this unit is placed on Rigor Circle, other than by a unit's card's ability, if you play an order card this turn, cost Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose and review up to 1 card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, call it to Rigor Circle if it's a unit card, and put it into the hand if it's an order card. Shuffle the deck. Second skill, Auto Rigor Circle. When this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, if this unit was placed this turn, cost Counterblast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets 10k power until the end of turn. So this is basically the Lyrical Monasterio version of the generic support from DBT11. Remember DBT11, we have those generic support where each and every nation gets. This is basically Lyrical Monasterio's version of it. The first skill is basically the same for all nations. Whenever she's being called by hand or by an order card, you're able to just Soul Blast 1 to check top 5 to Superior Call Rigor or get another Trick and Treat to the hand, which does helps either Fennell as well as Michu, as they are the only right lines that kind of uses orders in the whole Lyrical Monasterio. So effectively, this card is a 20k attacker while drawing you a card is really good, but it's a little bit restrictive because this unit needs to be on place in order to even Counterblast 1 to draw 1 and gain the power. If you don't have a card that basically returns this card to the hand to be called the next turn, this card is basically dead. For a Counterblast 1 to draw 1 as well as gain a power isn't really that great in the grand scheme of things, because once again, Counterblast is very limited. With Trick or Treat helping for now with the counter charge, I think is super good for like 1 or 2 activation, because after 1 or 2 activation, I think you'll probably run into a counter blast issue. Like sure, Trick and Treat does gives a counter charge to Fennell, but keep in mind here, it's only once per turn. You don't really gain back a lot of counter blast. Just be careful in terms of your counter blast usage. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section of what do you think of the Trick and Treat Rideline. I think it's a very good as well as very interesting Rideline to be introduced, and hopefully it might just bring more variety in terms of the meta game. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course during the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go.